as of update version 1.3.7, and these are the front forward shooters. So what do we got here? Technopunk. Now, Technopunk in a recent update was what they called nerfed, and let's go back to him. And his speed was knocked down some. He was the fastest of them, but maybe not anymore. So the stock that I show is going to be stock before nerfed. I think he might have dropped a few miles per hour, but I do not know the exact mile per hour because I did not have him stock when he got nerfed. Green Devil is also front shooter on that one. I'm not 100% sure. And then we got Croc McFly, but he's not rolling in the DeLorean. The old Croc McFly. And that's what we got. What can front shooter do for you? What are their abilities? Well, multiple shots coming straight forward, going straight forward. Here we go. I'm gonna give you a little preview. I'm sure you already know. I'm not playing that well. That guy's shooting me. See that? There you go. See, I'm just multiple shots going off on him. And when you fire your shots, they go where your vehicle is directed. So if you're in the left lane, fire them off, but then you can change to the right lane, fire them off. You can do some 360s in the air, fire them off. And you can go backwards. Backwards and fire them off. That's now the first time I got my hands on a front forward shooter, I wasn't all that about it. Because I was like, he's shooting at multiple shots, yes. But he doesn't seem to be doing all that much damage to anybody. Kind of, you know, making them slip and slide around a little bit, but not really like blowing them up or anything, which I was like, well, that's not all that great. But then the more and more, thanks to you guys for requesting reviews and whatnots, I have found that these guys are pretty decent. Now, the best attributes that I think about forward shooters, machine gunners, is the ability to get out front, turn around backwards, yeah, boy, and just, now, the damage they inflict is not that great. They're slipping and sliding and whatever, or losing a little bit of traction, your opponent, for the most part, unless you catch them in a more vulnerable time, like if they're trying to jump or turn or do something crazy, it'll exacerbate the, you know, have a bigger effect. But see how he was losing traction as I was shooting him, and I sure gained a lot of pretty good ground on him. They didn't go flying off the track or anything like that, but take that same effect. So now you understand what kind of damage is inflicted on your opponent from these front forward shooters here. But take that same damage that you're inflicted on, but then imagine yourself out front and shooting them right in their, turning around backwards and shooting them right in their face with it. The effect is way more dramatic and way more effective. And these front shooters, their damage doesn't seem to be that great, but their distance seems to be, let's see here. Oh, why did I get that third one fired off? What happened now? What happened? I don't understand. Let me drive off into nowhere. I'm definitely shooting all the way up to that hill. Yes, your bullets on this will not like travel with the track, go up and down. They go where your vehicle's pointed. But they have a much greater distance than any other special ability I've seen, I think. So if you have a flat stretch of track, you actually might be able to have an effect on that guy way out, if some guy's way out in front of you. And slow him down somewhat to give yourself a chance to catch up. Get down here with these fools. Ah. So you got distance. You've got the ability to direct your fire in a direction that whatever direction you see fit. And while you are activating your special front shooting, multiple front shooting, your speed still increases. Now, of course, you may kind of run into something. It's not going to help you. But you can definitely still pick up all your goodies and your track boost. And then try to get this shooter out front and just fire off in your opponent's faces. Front shooter vehicles like Technopunk here definitely pick up all your goodies. Still get all your speed. Now the actual bullets or weapon damage is not as great as some, but the distance is much greater. The ability to reach out and really say, hey fool, you get yourself back here. You ain't going nowhere.
The backwards man, the backwards man, the backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk back as fast as you can. I can walk back as fast as you can. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk back as you can. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. The backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk back as fast as you can. I can walk back as fast as you can. The backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. The backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk back as fast as you can. I can walk back as fast as you can. I can walk back as fast as you can. I can walk back as fast as you can. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk back as fast as you can. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. The backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk back as fast as you can. I can walk back as fast as you can.
What? God name are you doing your stupid little man way? I knew if I kept yelling at you, pounding you over the head with it, you'd come around.
So, with the front shooter, maybe the only thing you really might need to look out for, let me try to get behind this fool, is, since the damage inflicted on your opponent is usually not super great, kind of watch what's happening to that guy up there. And if he's just kind of slipping and sliding around, getting the rear end of his car knocked around a little bit, you don't want to just go ahead and keep running right up into him. It's really not. Sometimes you can do that. So just be aware of what it is doing to that guy that you're shooting at. Because if he's just getting knocked around in that same lane, you might want to change lanes so you can pass him. Shoot that guy right in his face right there like that. Fool can do nothing about it. For me, my opinion, for best results, if you can get these guys out front, is to get in the right lane and turn around backwards. Because why? Because we all know there's holes in the left lane, but not in the right lane for some reason. So, I'm going to take advantage of that. Oh, yo. And, when I do my backwards driving, for the most part, I'm going to be in the right lane, so I don't run into any holes in the track. So, now who would be the top from stock on these front shooters? This one's a little bit harder to tell. Number one, because they did nerf Technopunk. He was faster than Green Devil off the bat from stock. And I believe he had a little more weight to him. And then they also nerfed Technopunk, and then also threw in Croc McFly, who I believe does have a higher top end speed. And this is one of the times where handling, I don't know if that number down there, how well it equates to what I'm going to say, but he does have a lower number on handling, but his definitely seems to, you can feel it on the track. Sometimes good, in a way, because maybe he doesn't get a solid piece of traction on one spot where another guy would have got a you know, a hard piece of traction and maybe made him flip or something. While this guy's doing more of the, since he's more of a hover craft and he's more just hovering around. You know what I'm saying? But it depends on more of your, how you like to drive and what feels better to you. You know, that floaty feeling, the more the floaty feeling you're getting from Croc McFly, or, you know, a more controlled or stable feeling that you might get from one of the other guys. But yeah, it's probably going to come down to personal preference on the handling feel of these vehicles. But they definitely get to pick up all the goodies. No issue with that, but see how that time, I didn't change lanes just for sure to show you that, and I was shooting, but it wasn't causing enough of an issue for that opponent, but this one here, right in his face sure will. Now I need to make sure I get through there, alright, so I did that. But, yeah, definitely like getting these front shooters out front. Turning around backward and just messing folks and fools all up in their face. Alright, so I think to wrap it up would be front shooters can get all the goodies they ever wanted. Front shooters fire multiple projectiles at their opponents in any direction that you point your vehicle. Even if you're pointed up into the sky, it's going to shoot up there. So keep that in mind. Changing lanes, no problem. And they have distance. It's like the most distance weapon on any vehicle. And pick up all the goodies, no problem. Just watch out. If you're shooting a guy in front of you, watch what effect it's having on him. And if he's not getting knocked out of your lane, just go ahead and change lane. And try to get out front, turn around backwards, and shoot that weapon right in those fools' faces. Seems like pretty decent ability to me.